today we are going to learn about the laws of motion. In this, first we are going to learn about the distance and displacement. The difference between the distance and displacement is the distance is the actual distance that the object is covering. Actual distance, or you can say the actual length covered by the object. Okay. And here, actual distance or length covered by the object. And what is the displacement? Displacement is the shortest distance. Shortest distance. Remember this. This is the shortest distance covered by an object. Okay, now suppose this is your house, okay, and you are coming here for the tuition. Then here, okay, now this is the way that you can come directly here. Okay. Now, if suppose the one person is like going here, like this, and then coming here. Okay. So in this case, this is become the displacement. And this is become the distance. Understood? Displacement can be 0, but displacement can never be 0. Understood? For example, if you start from your home and you come for the class, now after some time you will again go back to the class, your home, right? That means in that case your displacement is 0. But is your distance is 0? No. Right? Here, so that means the distance can be 0. Displacement can be 0. Distance can't be 0. Okay? Now, you have studied about the vector quantity and scalar quantity. Right? What is vector quantity and scalar quantity? What is a vector quantity and scalar quantity? Okay, see, vector quantity is what? Vector. Okay, when you go for your higher study, you will have the vector quantities in the maths also. They are written like this. That means they are having magnitude as well as direction. Okay? And the scalar quantity, they only have the magnitude. What they have? They only have the magnitude. Here, they have magnitude plus direction. Okay? Now, just consider, if I am going from here to any place, okay, what I will say, I have covered, like I walked the 1 kilometer, right? Okay. But, if I am coming back, 1 kilometer we will consider as a displacement or the distance? Distance. Right, because it is not the shortest distance, right? It is not the shortest distance. So, here in this case, the distance will be covered, not the displacement. But if suppose I walk for the 10 meter, just consider that. Okay, I walk from here to that place and again I come back from that place to here. Here my direction does matter, right? My distance does matter. So that means the one is a scalar and one is a vector. Now you will understand the difference when we talk about the speed. What is the formula for speed?
Velocity upon time.
Now
Distance upon time.
right, distance upon time. It is distance upon time. Okay. Now, if suppose you are written on the roads and highways that like the maximum speed should be 60 km per hour. So is it like that कि आप अगर ईस्ट में जा रहे तो ही 60 किलोमीटर होना चाहिए, वेस्ट में जा रहे तो ज़्यादा होना चाहिए? Is it like that? No. Is it like that कि if you are going for the north side then your distance should be more? No. That means this is only the magnitude does matter. What does matter?
Magnitude.
So if only magnitude, then it is which quantity?
Scalar.
Right, it is the scalar quantity. Which quantity it is? Scalar. But when we talk about the velocity, velocity is what? Velocity is what? Velocity is displacement upon time. Displacement upon time. That means here, if the displacement is a vector quantity, which matters the direction and magnitude both, that means this is also the vector quantity, right? Okay. Because here it is the shortest. Okay? Okay. So first, I think you understood this difference. What is the speed and what is the velocity? Understood the difference? The speed and velocity? Okay. Understood the difference between the distance and displacement? Okay. what is the unit for this SI unit is meter per second. In the both the cases it is meter per second only. Okay, we always say the speed. Have you ever say the velocity of the vehicle? No. In our exam there is velocity of the vehicle is there. But in the reality we never say like that particular car was driving with this velocity. Right? So here, now we are having some equations. That also you are studying the previous standard. That is, see here, there are three equations. The first is V is equal to U plus AT. Okay, in this, what is this U? Can anyone tell me? No, U is the initial velocity. What is this?
Initial velocity.
Initial velocity. And what is this V? V is final velocity. Okay, now you will say why we are saying the initial and final. Can anyone tell me? As I told you, initial and okay. Now, this is student here. This initial and the final velocity. Here, this initial and the final velocity. This is acceleration. Here, this is the S. Okay. Here, what is this second formula? That is S ut plus 1/2 AT square. Okay, and your third formula is this is V square plus U square plus 2AS. In this case, U is a initial velocity, V is a final velocity, A is a acceleration, T is time. Okay, what is this S? Right, this S is distance. Okay, now here, what is this acceleration? Acceleration is change in velocity upon time. Okay, we are having this formula, that is change in velocity upon time. So in this case, velocity is having, what is the unit of velocity? That is meter per second. And here again the time. So that's why it is unit is meter per second square. Understood? Acceleration, that is change in velocity. If suppose I go from one speed breaker to another speed breaker, then again I stop my vehicle. So that is the acceleration. After crossing the speed breaker, I again rotate, give acceleration to the vehicle. That is the acceleration. Understood? Okay. So here, first, what we are going to study is V is equal to U plus AT. That means final velocity is equal to initial velocity plus acceleration into time. Okay? Then here S is a distance. How much distance I have covered? That is U, initial velocity plus this T, that is time, plus 1/2 AT square. A is again the acceleration and the time square. V square is equal to U square, that is means final velocity square is equal to initial velocity square plus 2 into A into A is acceleration, S is a distance. Okay, these three formulas you have to remember. Okay, then we will move it to the first law of motion. What is the first law of motion? That we will study in the next. But first, before this, you have to understand this. If you understood, then you laws of motion is not very difficult for you. Okay? Okay. Thank you, student. Thank you so much.